Hello Final Girl survivors, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another playthrough video where we are going to be using the Final Girl companion app to set up our game, track our stats, and see what the random setup is going to give us for this game. Now if you haven't seen my previous video, check it out where I kind of go more into depth of what the Final Girl companion app is, but in a nutshell it is a way to set up your game with a lot of variability, track your stats, track your achievements, and if you're a Final Girl nerd, it is again a nice companion to have while you're playing. So in my previous video, I had done this setup, but I realized I accidentally had it set to only Series 1, so it wasn't like a fully true randomized setup. And so we're going to redo that here, we're going to play on standard, we're going to hit the die and let fate decide what we're going to play. And it looks like we are going as Sheila against Hans the Butcher on the Carnival of Blood. So ironically, it is still a full Series 1 setup, but that is totally okay. So we're going to go ahead and hit next. We are going to use the desperation die. We are going to play with a signature action. So let's go ahead and randomize the startup, bring around the rosy, and our randomized signature action is going to be dodge. So let's go ahead and get this set up on the table and see if we can defeat the classic killer Hans on one of my favorite maps, the Carnival of Blood. Let's do this. Alright, so here we are with our companion generated setup here. In the left hand corner we have everyone's favorite pig mask killer, the butcher of Camp Happy Trails, Hans. Give it up to Hans, everyone. I'm sure he's going to put on a good show for us here today. On our map we have the Carnival of Blood, the worst show in the world, where there are traps and horrors abound underneath every tent. And going up against these terrors is our Final Girl Sheila, who rode her bike from Maple Lane all the way over here to the carnival, only to be greeted by Hans. So Sheila's a pretty good, well-rounded Final Girl. Hans is your kind of basic killer. There's really not much to him. He's just going to come around and smash us with his hammer. And then if you guys have never played Carnival of Blood, the kind of twist to this map here is that in each of these item decks, there is a single trap, and that trap will do bad stuff to us. In addition, some of the tarot cards related to the Carnival of Blood may have some additional traps that are going to spawn on the map. So we got to be careful when we are digging for items because it can lead to some unexpected surprises here. Alright, with everything set up here, I think we are good to get started. Let's reveal our opening event. Full Moon. The victim farthest from you is the world's hairiest man. It is actually a werewolf. The werewolf will not follow you and cannot be targeted, saved, or killed. During upkeep, panic the werewolf. Then he does 2 damage to one target in space according to the following priority. Victim, Final Girl, Minion, and then Killer. So the farthest victim from us, I believe, is this one over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it looks like this one and the Forest of Horrors are equidistant, but I'm going to go ahead and say that whatever's in the Forest of Horrors feels like that's where the werewolf should be. So we're going to replace this one with the werewolf here. So we're, in addition to having Hans hunting us, we're going to have a pig and a wolf. So this is becoming a very animal-filled game already. Looking at our starting conditions here, we got a good spread of victims, pretty evenly distributed. We did start in the Things to Astonish, which is an item location. So I'm thinking that we might hang out here because we can see the top item there is a knife. So we're going to have a nice way to get a starting weapon. So I actually think we're not going to do too much this turn. I think that we are going to go ahead and discard weak and short rest for 2 time. And then I think we're going to buy some searches and some distractions just to kind of get us going early on in the game. And I think if we're going to be stationary, I think I'm okay discarding the 2 walks. So we're going to go into this next buy phase with 10 time. So we're not going to actually take any actions this turn. We're going to go right into our buy phase, and we are going to buy 2 searches, and that's going to be for 1, 2, 3, 4 time, and then we are going to buy a distraction for 3 time, and then we are going to buy 2 close calls for 1 and 2 time. Actually, that's a little awkward. You know what? Let's buy a second distraction. I'm going to spend the last 3 time to get those last distractions, reset our time, and then just put our 0 cost cards back into the market. Okay, so now we have our killer phase. Hans does not move. He just will attack anything in his space. So he's going to swing in the air there, but not actually attack anyone. Now we'll go ahead and reveal our tarot card. Misty Ambush. All right. All victims at or adjacent to the Forest of Horrors panic. For any ones rolled, the victim is killed. So here, of course, the Forest of Horror is... although I believe that the werewolf is still considered a victim. So we have to panic the werewolf first. And that's a 6. So, ooh, he's going to go into Hans's spot. And then we have to panic the other 2 that are adjacent to the Forest of Horrors. So that's going to be a 2 moving into here. And then 1 more. That's going to be a 1 moving over here to the exit. All right, so that one's kind of setting himself up nicely. If at least 1 victim was killed, increase horror. None were. If no victims were killed, resolve the next terror card. All right, so we are going to have to resolve another one. Unholy Rage. Hans does an additional damage for each attack. So we are getting things started with a minor dark power for Hans here. So he's at 14 health now. He's already pretty beefy, so this is always fun. It's gonna be a bit of a grind to take him down, but he is a beefy killer after all. Next, we're gonna go into Panic. None of our victims died, so no panicking. And then we'll go into Upkeep. And I believe all we have to do for Upkeep is panic the werewolf and see if he's going to kill anybody. He rolled a 5, which is going to send him into the victim space, and they are gonna do damage to this victim. Oh god, the werewolf on the loose. Watch the werewolf do more work than Hans by the end of this. So we are gonna lose a victim, increase our bloodlust, and now it is back to us. So let's do some distractions. Let's make some noise at the things to astonish and see if we can do any good stuff. That is a double failure on the first distraction. Now I'm really wishing that I had brought some close calls because I could have re-rolled those. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to reduce horror by 1, and then we're going to take the 4 time loss. And really pretty bad, actually. But we're going to go ahead and play another distraction here and hope. I have a couple cards to discard. We just need to roll those dice. All right, so double fail again. We can... I can discard 2 focus, and then we'll get the reduction and the time up, but it's not going to give me my 3 dice, which is really what I wanted. So we're actually going to discard a focus and a search, so that's going to reduce horror and give us a time, and then I'm going to spend my other focus and try to get at least 1 success so that I can get the 3 dice. All right, single success. We are going to lose a time, but we are going to put our horror at 1, which is going to give us our 3rd dice, which is nice. And now for our last action, we're going to do a search here, which is a total, oh my goodness, this is a rough first round. All right, so we have a failure on the search. We can take the top item card of our space and then increase horror by 2, or we can increase horror by 1 and lose 2 time. I think that we are going to take the knife. I think we're going to take the knife and then put this up by 2 and then lose 2 times. So oof, all right, that was a really rough first turn there. I guess second turn technically. We spent all that time preparing and then the dice were not kind to us there. That's what I get for playing too passively. So we don't have any time to buy anything, so we're just going to take our 0 cost cards and then we're going to have to keep moving on here. So I think we're going to do some movement next turn, because I don't think I want to sit here and search much longer. But at least we have a weapon. If worse comes to worse, we at least have something to work with here. And if you're enjoying the video, please consider liking and subscribing for more Final Girl and other board game content. We do playthroughs and reviews and discussion videos and all sorts of different stuff. So if you're enjoying it, please consider liking and subscribing to join the channel. Anyway, let's get back to our survival at the Carnival of Blood. Let's go into our killer phase. Hans is still chilling out. Let's see what we get here. He wants fresh blood. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw. Otherwise, Hans will move to the nearest victim and then attack. So he is going to move, what's his movement? Just 1? He is lumbering. So it would take 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2. This is the shortest route. And I guess he attacks the werewolf, but of course the werewolf can't be killed, so it doesn't really matter. And to be clear, he's not moving towards the werewolf because I don't think that's considered a victim anymore. But I think he's trying to move to these dudes, which are closer. Oh, he has 2 movement actually. I didn't realize the 2 boots. So he's going to move 1 there, and then move 1 here, and then attack, which is going to kill that poor victim, and then it's going to increase the horror by 1 there. So Hans did get some blood that round. Okay. Next, we got to panic our werewolf. Let's go ahead and do that. A 2. Oh man, I was really hoping I'd roll a 1 there. He's gonna panic and just hang out there by the archery range. Okay, back to us. We got some walks. We have a victim that's just chilling out there. So if we went walk, 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 we could get 3 victims saved, which would be pretty sick actually. So let's go ahead and do that. We do have some cards to burn, so hopefully we can get some actual success here. Let's roll that. Okay. I'm going to discard these 2 to get a single success on our walk. So we're going to spend time, and then we're going to move here. And then we're going to do 1 more walk. See what we can rummage up here. Man, we're not seeing any... We are not seeing any successes this game. Okay. We're going to take the loss. We're going to move 1 space anyway. And then we are going to take a damage. And then we are going to lose 2 time. That's okay. All right, let's see what we can buy. We're going to pick up our focus. And then we could do a sprint. And get the movement we need to get away. Or try to get to that exit there. Which isn't awful. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to buy sprint for 2 time. And then we're going to get a close call for 1. And that'll be all of our time. Let's go ahead and put these guys back. Yeah, we're going to have to take a beat here. I want to get a little bit of juice going with saving these victims. We're going to have to take a beat, I think, to get some cards back, because that 1 burned turn where we had those failed distractions is hurting us. But let's see what Hans is going to do. Oh my goodness, another dark power. Hans moves 1 additional space for each boot. So he is at a whopping 16 health over here. Oh man. Hopefully we can survive long enough to whittle him down. But at least he's not going to be increasing his bloodlust this turn rather. Let's go ahead and panic our werewolf, which is a 3. We'll move here. All right, closing in on Hans. Come on, werewolf, I need you. I need the werewolf to do some heavy lifting for me, because I sure as heck am not going to be doing enough damage this turn. Okay, let's do a sprint. Let's try to get some movement on the sprint here so that we can get to the exit. And that is a double failure. Not a double failure, a double discard. I think I'm going to discard 1 and 1 to get a single success on the sprint, which is going to let me move 2 spaces. So we'll move 1 here, which is going to save 3 victims. And we are going to take the 2 time. I didn't reset my time before. We're going to take 2 time for saving a victim. We are going to reduce horror for saving a victim. And then we are going to... What's at the Forest of Horror? A 2-handed axe? That's pretty sick. I kind of want that. Yeah, let's move a space for saving a victim. And then I have 1 more move from my sprint left over, so I'm going to use that to move into the Forest of Horrors. And I'm left with a focus in my hand. Oops, I almost forgot. I had to spend 1 time for the actual sprint. So we have 7 time after getting the extra from saving that victim there. Now we are left with 7 time and 1 card. I think I'm going to hold on to this, and we're going to go into the buying phase. And I guess I don't learn my lesson, because I'm actually going to buy another search for 1, 2, and then I have 5. I could get another distraction and another search, or I could get a distraction and a close call. Maybe not. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a distraction for 1, 2, 3. I have 2 time left, and I'm going to get a close call for 1. All right, I'm at 8 cards still, so we are good on hand size. All right, and that'll be my time. Reset that. Put these cards back. And we're going to hang out at the Forest of Horrors. All right, let's move into our killer phase. Let's see what Hans is doing. Oh boy, here we go. So here are one of the traps that I was talking about earlier. Where the hell did the blades come from? Place the spinning floor blade token in your space. Immediately apply the trap's effects to you and any victims in your space. Okay, so we gotta take the spinning floor blades, which are in the Forest of Horrors. And if we look at the reference card here, we can see that the spinning floor blades on a 1 to 4, I take 1 damage. And then on a 5 or 6, I may move 1 space. So let's roll a die for the spinning floor blades, which is a 4. And that's going to do 1 damage to us. And then for each 1 to 4 that you rolled, increase horror. So we have to increase horror by 1 because we rolled a single 4. All right, I was just reading this a little more carefully. So for the spinning floor blades, you have to roll 2 die. I only rolled 1. So I'm going to roll 1 more die for that, which is a 3, which is going to deal me another damage. And then because of the terror card, it's actually going to do 1 more horror. But that terror increase kind of screwed up my thoughts with what I wanted to do with distractions, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. Now we got to upkeep, so we're going to panic our werewolf, which is a 3. And ooh, here we go. He's gonna move here, and then the werewolf will do 2 damage to the killer because they share a space. And I'm gonna get rid of this dark power, the Unholy Rage, so Hans will not be doing extra damage to us, which is nice. Thank you, werewolf. Thank you. I swear this werewolf is probably gonna end up killing me by the end of this. Just the bad feeling I get. Okay. So best case scenario, we can reduce horror by 3. Yeah, let's just get the horror under control. Let's go ahead and do a distraction. Wow, another double fail distraction. Good gracious. Okay, we're gonna spend 2 time to re-roll with close call. All right, single success. So we're gonna reduce horror by 1 and then gain 1 time. So that was okay. Let's go ahead and do a search now and see if we can pick up the axe that is here. Roll that. So that was a double discard. We will discard short rest and weak attack, and we will take the top item of the item deck. So this is the throwing axe. You may use this attack on an enemy in an adjacent space. If you do, discard it after resolving this attack. But we do have 2, we're kind of dual wielding out here, which is kind of cool. So we're gonna have 2 extra damage. So I can definitely get behind that. And then that search did take 1 time. Sheila's ultimate ability is pretty good. When I discard a card, I'm able to get 2 time instead of 1. I think we're gonna leave the Forest of Horrors. I'm terrified of the traps that are in the item decks. We only have 3 health left, so we're not in super great shape. Let's go ahead and do a walk. Single success. Yeah, we'll do the single success walk. We'll move 1, and then discard, and then we're gonna walk 1 more time. All right, we're gonna take the failure, we're gonna move 1, we're gonna lose a health, and then we're gonna pay 2 time. Honestly, I'm almost okay with us getting to 1 health and buying a guard or something and trying to play the 3 dice, or get the extra dice from adrenaline, because the terror is getting kind of a pain to deal with, and we need a little more consistency here. I'm gonna hold on to this. We're gonna move into buying phase. I'm gonna buy this, and I'll buy a close call because we only have 1 time left. So we'll go back to 6. Now we're gonna move into our killer phase. Welcome to the greatest show. Resolve an event rather. So we're gonna resolve the next event. It's not real. Place 4 new victims at the House of Mirrors. So let's take 4 victims and put them at the House of Mirrors where there already is a victim. So we're gonna be 5 freaking victims here. All right, or are they all just 1 victim and they're seeing reflections in themselves? Place the skull token at the Forest of Horrors. Any victims at or moving into the Forest of Horrors are killed immediately. Okay, so the Forest of Horrors is doubly deadly. It has spinning blades, and it is also has the skull token. Okay. Next, all victims move 1 space closer to the big top. Oh my goodness. Okay, so 1, 1, and everything. All right, this is how this is gonna be, huh? All right, we have 9. What is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We have 9 victims at the big top. Oh man, it's gonna be a slaughter under that tent. Oh no. Yeah. Next, place the killer at the big top, and then he's gonna move, attack, or he's going to attack and then move. So Hans is gonna move into the big top, and this is just oh my goodness, it's a feeding frenzy. He's going to attack, and this is going to increase. Oh no, and now he's stationary at a spot with a bunch of victims, so he's just going to be whacking away at this big top. So, this game's going out of control here. We did our terror card, Hans attacked, now we have to go into the panic phase, and we have 8 victims to panic for. So number 1, okay, so 1's going to the werewolf spot. Next one, number 3. All right, actually, I'm going to pull these off. I'm just going to put them in my hand because they all got to panic. It's a little easier for my visibility. Okay, 3 is not going to panic, so 1's going to stay here. Next one, number 2. 2 is going to go over here. Next one, number 6 is going to go back to the House of Mirrors. Number 6, another one in the House of Mirrors. Number 3 is going to chill out here. Number 5 is also going to... Oh, no, number 5 is going to come to me, which is nice. And then last one, number 4, is going to also stay here. So 3 and 4 did not move. Okay. So that's all of our panicking. And now we have to do the upkeep. So we have to move our werewolf, which is 3. The werewolf is going to be at the big top as well. And it is going to prioritize killing a victim first. So this victim's going to die. We're going to increase bloodlust, and then we're going to increase terror. Whew. All right, that was not a great killer phase there. I think we have to take a beat here. I think we need some time. We have to kind of recuperate a little bit and just get some good cards and hope that things go well. We do have a sprint. We can sprint into the big top and try to pull some of those people out of there so Hans doesn't get 2 free kills. So we're actually not going to play any cards. We're going to move right into buying phase. We're going to buy sprint for 2 and improvise. I think improvise is the play here. 3, and then we'll get a close call. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are at 10 cards now. So we'll reset this to 6. And hope that we can weather the storm here. So Hans is going to go. He's going to kill the victim in his space, which is going to move bloodlust. He's going to reveal his dark power, which is feed. For every victim that Hans kills, he recovers a health. All right, he's already at beyond his maximum full health, so nothing to worry about there. Oh no, I'm all wrapped up and I can't get free. So killer is going to move towards the final girl and attack. Oh my, am I gonna die here? I got so caught up in all of this that I didn't even consider Hans is gonna come and kill me. Yeah, I have no defensive cards. Okay, I hope that there's some hearts under this. There's no hearts under here. Wow, I totally screwed this game up. This might be one of the worst games of Final Girl I've ever played. So there we have it, the end of a particularly bloody Final Girl playthrough. Hans was out for blood, the Carnival of Blood was out for blood. I don't need to say blood this many times to describe how this went, but it was particularly rough. And unfortunately, since we are using the companion app, I have to log this now so that I can memorialize how horribly this game went. So here we are, we have our stats page here. So ideally you can kind of update this as you're playing. Typically I like to just, at the end of the game, kind of retroactively enter what happened. And that's just my preferred way to do it, so I don't have my phone out next to me while I'm playing. So we started with 13 victims. We're going to add 4 because we had the event that added 4 victims. We saved 3 victims, and then we had 4 victims, 5 victims killed. So that was our victim total here. And then Hans, of course, was at full health, unfortunately. And then poor Sheila is at 0 health. So we're going to log this as a lost game here, and then you could come here and check if you had any achievements. If there are any achievements that were eligible for this playthrough, it'll flag it and say, hey, look, you might have a possible achievement. You should check if you could do it. Unfortunately for this game, we did not have any achievements, so it was a failure on multiple fronts here. After you confirm that the game has been lost, it'll leave you with this nice little summary screen here of victims and then the final grown killer, and you could add, your notes here. I'll put brutal loss maybe, because it was a pretty rough game, and you hit end game, and then it will log this game in your statistics here. So you can see my win-loss is not super great since I started logging these, and then you can go back and look at that later. But this was a really fun playthrough. I think the app is a really neat way to just give you a nice bit of randomness and variability. There's so many permutations you can play with Final Girl. Sometimes it's nice to have a little help of just randomizing it. And of course you could have done this before without this app, but then the added layer of being able to track things, it's fun, especially when you play it consistently, to kind of see how you progress, or like if there's certain maps that you do really badly on. Data's cool, and Final Girl data is particularly cool. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I know it was a pretty rough playthrough. We kind of just got bonked on the head there. And I really should have known better, as we had low health. I should have been running a guard or some kind of defensive item or defensive action. So that was not the best showing of how to play Final Girl to win, because I was kind of playing fast and loose there. But still a fun playthrough nonetheless. I love going against Hans. Sometimes it's nice to, again, lose against him, just like Vanilla Killer. You can know the game as well as you do, but sometimes Final Girl is going to be mean, and you're just going to lose. But I enjoyed the little story at the end. That Big Top massacre was pretty good. The werewolf running around doing stuff. And let me know in the comments below if there's any killer and location combination you'd like to see me play through that you think is particularly nasty. Thank you again for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.